This tank contains the females that I decided to save, or maintain, that is. I have the yellow female and one of her offspring, and quite a few guppies with a blue tail, some yellow tails. I purchased 3 of these as new stock, so I definitely want to keep them. And I put the rest in my 120. Hope to trade off as many of them as I can match with a male. I have quite a few males, but most have yet to color up, so they're not ready to trade to a pet store. About a dozen females in a 10-gallon. Quite comfortable with a filter rated for 20 gallons, optimized with sponges in the reservoir and over the intake. The main reason for the sponge over the intake is to prevent fry from being sucked up. But as you can see, a treat of Daphnia disappears immediately in this tank. The females are ravenous. So I'm going to give them some more food in the glass, sinking pellets, so that they're not wasted in the gravel. The females have discovered the sinking pellet, and they're vying for an opportunity to take a bite out of it. It appears that I have at least one male fancy guppy with the half blue coloration and the gold back, and I do believe that the larger molly in this tank is male. The anal fin is quite pointed. Not yet ready, not yet a gonopodium, so I'm not worried about him inseminating the smaller molly. He's fine in this tank for now with approximately 10 male fancy guppies, most of them not quite colored up yet. I see that one male has sort of a half black coloration with a slight blue tinge to its caudal fin, perhaps the beginning of a gold sheen on its back. I'm not sure if that's descended from this prize male. Now the other fancy male that I decided to save, who has a black caudal fin, definitely a delta tail, and sort of a greenish tinge to it, and a yellow dorsal fin with black spots. That one's quite attractive. Hopefully he inseminated some of the females that I'm saving. I gave up on keeping live plants in this tank. The jungle valacinera just wasn't making a comeback. Apparently continued to deteriorate. So what I did was gently remove it and place it in a sort of a thin plastic dish. It was actually the cover to a reusable coffee filter. What I did is I put potting soil in that sort of thin plastic bowl and put the plant in that, and then covered it, capped it with deep river gravel, and put that in my 75-gallon tank where I give regular doses of Thrive liquid fertilizer. Perhaps it'll make a comeback in there. If not, I did the best I could with Jungle Vallisonera. I've heard that it's actually quite a hardy plant. I wonder if my efforts failed because I had dwarf Sagittaria in the same tank with it. It could be that the allelopathy was just too much for it. But the epiphytic plants in that tank are quite nice, so 2 planted tanks is enough. I move fish around so much, live bears and breeding Colombian tetra. Keeping live plants is kind of a struggle in most of my tanks. But the potting soil tank and the 75 are doing quite well with the live plants I have in them. And I'll be looking forward to seeing how these fish color up and the other males that I have in the 75. And once they've colored up, I'll be calling the manager of my favorite pet store and seeing about trading some fish off for store credit.